Yeah, I was just about to say, okay, now let's change to reality. Thank you very much. I'm in a different role here. I'm here for PLESSER. We are a startup company that saw this coming, and I think it's a great moment that we have here, that over the last years, it somehow became apparent that there is an issue about those new technologies coming into buildings. And actually the first slide therefore is this. And usually I show you without the last line. Just to say, well, this is the problem that we have right now. We have good technology, good systems, we have all good products, and all those products work individually. But once we assemble them in a real project, on a real building site, with real people, those systems, well, they don't work very well. This is a huge issue, and we have now Horizon 2020 projects addressing this issue. Buildings don't perform that well. We have the issue of inspections, and all this for me is a matter of quality. We don't have a proper quality management in place right now, and that is a tremendous problem. At least if you have systems that are of higher complexity. As long as everything is visible. It's simple, but building automations, hydraulics, etc. is not visible. And so we need better quality management in place. And actually this is what we saw coming about 10 years ago, and therefore we founded the vision. And I don't really know, actually we had a discussion with VDI a couple of weeks ago, with a new VDI in Germany saying, okay, what is the building management system and where does it end? It is software. It is in the cloud probably. So where does the cloud end? I don't know. We have all those functionalities in there. I don't know where the building automation system actually begins and ends, but it is necessary, and it's definitely a core piece of any building management system that we need. When we look at quality management, I think the scope is pretty big. It's not only that somebody is doing something wrong in the building. You can have a lot of other sources for gaps. This is some graphs from a new guide that we just published with Reba. Right? The first gap occurs right here, that you have some intention by the building owner, but they don't end up to be in the tender documents. The design of building automation systems, and Peter already mentioned this, is difficult. So the first big gap actually occurs right here. And then you have different other gaps during the development, construction, commissioning, operation of buildings. So there are lots of sources for those different gaps, and they need to be tackled by proper quality management. You can end up, this is pretty small, with lots of gaps here. It's not only about energy efficiency. If we would address our customers only for energy efficiency, they would say, okay, yes, this energy thing. Yes, but there are hundreds of other things that are important. And so when we turn this into a kind of, service approach, quality management as a service, I think we have to have a much broader view on things. Comfort, of course, is one of them. Maybe CO2, maybe cost, whatever. So there's a lot more to it than just the energy efficiency that is addressed in the PPD. Now, I think when we look at buildings, you just mentioned that we have payback time between 1 and 3 years. Now, if I'm the building owner in a new construction building, I would say no, that's too pessimistic. The payback time is exactly 0, because I pay you to provide a good building. And when you deliver a good building, well, then I pay you 100%. If you don't deliver a good building, I won't.
As long as you provide a good definition of a good building.
That's it. And that is where it all starts. It all starts with the target value. If you don't ask for a good building, you will not get a good building. This is, in terms of building automation, it's a catastrophe, because people don't understand what a good building is, at least in terms of automation. In terms of comfort, well, maybe better, but in terms of building automation, absolutely not. So, what we think we definitely have to have is a good definition of target values. This has to be more precise. And of course, this has different issues. One is we have to define target values properly and at the correct point of time. Before I make my contract, I have to define this before. Usually in a very early phase in the building, I decide, well, do I want to have standard A or standard B? What type of control do I want to have in my office room or my lecture hall, whatever? But this is, in many buildings, it's done, in the very, very early phase when you have just contracted the architect, we have a nice design, and then you say, okay, this is level A, level B building, okay, this is what we want. So this is very early. The building management system is not in place at that point of time. So we need to be able to define target values very early. That's one point. The second point is, that's the great thing about building automation systems, we will have a lot of data. We will have this data. So later on in commissioning or operation, collect this data, use this data. That's a great opportunity. But we have to be able to match those values to the target values. If you just collect data here and have something else in our contracts, they won't match. So this has to be very precise in a way, and this actually comes down to a legal issue. I have a contract, I buy a building with a certain functionality, and I will only pay if I get this functionality. And this proof has to be made. So designing this for sort of testability, or to be able to prove that we have delivered, that is really important. And of course this has to be done in the right moment. And especially for new construction, this is very crucial. Once you have signed off, well, the motivation of everybody, goes down tremendously. So this has to be a very early test. And so what we try to do is we try to establish a quality control loop, like an early inspection. Like, why wait for an inspection for 10 years? Of course, we have to start with the new construction, with the very early stage of the building. Start right here and have an immediate impact in somewhere between, actually in the commissioning phase, somewhere here, and then have continuous monitoring-based commissioning, as we have described it. This is the core issue. Sounds quite trivial to say, okay, you need target value, measured value, compared, and that's it. It is quite difficult, and we need good solutions for this, and we try to provide this kind of a solution that allows building owners to have a very early definition of target values, later on in the commissioning phase, to take those values from the building management system and to evaluate that in a very transparent, precise way, and then of course continuously supervise operation. And if you consider this as part of the building management system or not, I don't know. It's linked. There are interfaces. If you consider it as one system or different systems, I don't know. But what is absolutely for sure is that this is going to be digital. We have already a big lack of skilled people. We may be successful in training people, but not successful enough, definitely not. We will not be successful enough in training enough people for building management systems. So if we have new services like checking things, like doing quality management, we have to be digital, otherwise it's not going to work. Because this has to be automated, we cannot have a lot of people doing this. So that's our approach. And so what we are doing actually is we do digital engineering. We have to start with a digital specification of those functionalities, all the functionalities that you showed from 15.232. In a digital specification, you may call it a building information model, or part of the building information model. And that is the starting point. Then we go into the automated analysis and in continuous monitoring. Actually, this is what you can, of course, perpetuate in a building. Once you have this model, of course, you can supervise the building throughout the life cycle of the building. We have developed this guidebook in a project called Quantum that we tried to present yesterday. Yes.
Received today as well. So
okay. And another document that we produced within this project was a guideline in Germany that's called the technical monitoring by AMEF. It's a kind of consulting agency for public administrations. They have lots of problems with their buildings. They have lots of new requirements and tremendous problems, and they said, we want to have a third-party testing whether we get what we pay for. We are supposed to build more complex, more energy efficient, more comfortable, more safe buildings. Okay, now we want somebody to determine whether I get what I pay for. And so technical monitoring actually is a quality management process defining, you have to set targets in the design phase, you have to provide data, you have to evaluate performance, and you have to do this within the corresponding phases of the building life cycle. And this is actually gaining quite a bit of momentum in Germany right now. There are lots of public tenders out there doing exactly this. It's a specific service description, a tender document that is actually being copied and pasted. That's fantastic. Because it's always the same service, everybody knows what has to be done, what can I expect from this kind of service. So this is good for both sides, for the service provider and for the building owner. They both know what they're talking about. That's really a great success here. And actually this is the guidebook, the REPA guidebook. It addresses building owners. They are paying for all this. So they should know what quality management is about, what it's good for. And actually, it's describing this technical monitoring, this digital part, what you can do digitally. And it's also describing commissioning. And this is similar like was discussed before, what can we do with automated inspection and what can we do with on-site inspections. I also think that we will need experts. We cannot build buildings without experts just by doing it digitally. That's not going to work. And in the guidebook, we made a difference between technical monitoring and commissioning. And of course, the content is different. But my personal definition is technical monitoring can be done digitally, and commissioning cannot be done digitally. It has to be done by experts, has to be done on-site, etc. And when you go through the different services we have described on here, you can actually see a lot of the things that can be done based on data, but a lot of other things, you need experts. It's much more sensitive to errors, and it will be much more expensive. You need those people on site. We've seen it up now in Germany. We have those services as part of this AMEF service also, as an optional part, and prices explode for those services. It's extremely expensive, and for our engineering office is currently rejecting services. We are being asked to do it, and we do not have the people to do it. Not for technical monitoring, for that we can do everything, but commissioning, very difficult. So I'm excited that we are pushing this issue of quality management. It is a prerequisite. We cannot do without. We cannot do without automation. You cannot go back into 1950 and say, no, this is all manual mode. It's not going to work. We need automation, but we have to do it properly. And then I think we can make buildings perform. Thank you very much.